Welcome to the Fitnatics, everyone. I'm super excited today. We are here with Brittany Reyes Zaragosa, who is a licensed master social worker. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Great. Happy to be here. Excited.
We are happy to have you. So let's get started. And if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Sure. So like you said, I'm Brittany Reyes Zaragosa. I am currently a licensed master social worker. I have been for going on a year now, but I've been studying it for a while. So just got my license. Before this, I was a qualified mental health professional. So in the same field, but a little bit more anger management, anxiety management, and that was with children. So now that's just one of the many things that I do as a social worker. But I love it all. So, and still with kids, still out of middle school. So loving every minute.
Excellent. Excellent. So with this climate that we are in now, still in the pandemic, we have turmoil, in this world right now. What are you seeing? Anything predominantly that stands out? Issues, concerns that you're seeing in our population, our society?
Definitely. So like you said, it's a crazy time, right? We're coming out of a global pandemic. We're in the middle of some wars. There's just a lot going on. Like the inflation is high. There's just a lot going on everywhere. So definitely a lot of increased anxiety. And with that, a lot of high emotions. So a lot more, I mean, our crime has gone up. I feel like I'm reading something new every day in the news about crime, violence. So definitely a lot of that. Emotions are high. We've been through so much. We're fatigued. We've experienced so much trauma. So with that, I feel like I'm seeing a big uptick of anger. So that's definitely something that I work on every day in my office and hopefully outside in the community too. How do we deal with it? Because anger is a regular, totally appropriate, healthy emotion. What do we do with it? Is kind of what the big question, right?
Right. So tell us, Brittany, being that, what I grew up, I identified anger as an emotion that derived from hurt, that
Mhm.
derived from pain. Is this the type of anger that you're referring to that you see now in our community, in the world?
Definitely. I think that a lot of the times the way that I explain anger is it's the tip of the iceberg, right? There's anger is the very tip, there's a giant like mass underneath, and it could be so many things. It could be like you said, anger, hurt, guilt, shame, embarrassment, sadness, hunger. Like there's so many things that cause anger, that can lead up to anger. I always say anger is the secondary emotion. There's always something that comes before it.
Okay.
Yeah. So how do we identify that first emotion so that we can target that and deal with that before the anger comes, or then we can deal with the anger more appropriately because we know where it's coming from.
I see. Is that a process in terms of seeing some signs and symptoms and saying, okay, well, that could be a part of anger, and how do we manage that? Or is it something that an individual themselves can say, hey, you know what, I've noticed in myself getting more agitated, getting more anxiety, getting what is it that we're looking for when it comes to this anger, and how to manage it?
Definitely. So it looks different, a little bit different for everybody, right? So there are definitely some universal things to look for, like my face feels hot, I start to shake. But then there's some individualized things too. Like for me, when I feel like I'm getting there, I'm getting angry, my eyes get watery. Like I know it looks like I want to cry, but I'm just really like so angry. So that's personal for me. Is there something that you can think of that maybe happens when you're getting angry that's personal to you?
Ooh, good question, Brittany. You know what? Now that I think about it, when I feel myself getting, I get hot. I do feel myself getting like warm and hot, all over, all over. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So then when we start to realize what's happening in our bodies, then we can pump the brakes and say, stop, stop, this is happening. What can I do next?
Mhm. Interesting that you say that because in fitness and training, when we try to get our body strong or healthy or recover, recoup, I'm always saying you got to listen to your body. And
Mhm.
you're saying the same thing. You've got to tune in and listen to your body, see what's going on, and then we can better respond and react to what's happening, correct?
Definitely, definitely. And it takes practice. I mean, I feel like a lot of clients get upset when it doesn't happen overnight, but be patient with yourself. It takes practice. Learning your body, learning those warning signs, learning the things that trigger you. So you're absolutely right. Being in tune with your body 100% and giving yourself a little bit of grace while you learn it.
You know, I had a client that texted me this week, just a few days ago, as a matter of fact. And she had actually used the word angry. She said that she was feeling angry with herself, for various reasons. How do you respond to that? How do you help somebody, as you said, give them grace, give themselves grace, forgive themselves, be easy with themselves? Can you share with us how to do that for others?
Definitely. So I think just reminding others that anger is appropriate. It's normal, it's healthy. I feel like we chastise ourselves a lot when we get angry, maybe because of what we do after we get angry, but getting angry isn't the problem, right? Because that's normal, that's healthy. Um, Everyone experiences it a little bit differently. It's really what we do with it after the anger. So just reminding ourselves and our friends, our colleagues, don't get upset that you got angry, that you are angry. Because a lot of times anger can help, right? It helps us stand up for ourselves when we feel like we've been wronged. It helps us protect ourselves and others. So definitely, I don't ever want anybody to feel like they should feel bad because they got angry. We just
Mhm.
want to learn what to do with that anger. What do we do next?
Right. When do we know when we should seek help with our anger and how and is it going too far? Is it under control? Or if it's is it hurting us in terms of being able to do daily tasks and live life and function?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Is it interfering with our daily tasks? Is it stopping you from completing things? Are you hurting yourself? Are you hurting others? Is it negatively affecting others? Is it hindering your performance at work or at school? Are you getting mad at people there? And I think that if you have to ask yourself if it like
Mm.
once it's affecting you, then you might already be there. And I would say even if you're just thinking about it, it never, never, never hurts to reach out to a mental health professional and just get that first visit and see how it goes from there.
What other types of resources, say someone is just doesn't like that feeling, they feel like the tip of the iceberg and but not quite interfering with their, their job or the profession, but just want to improve on how to better rein in their emotions. What resources, yeah, what resources are out there to help us with that?
So there's a few, and a lot of them we can do without even like leaving our chair. So I know that you had Miss Sarah Riveron a few weeks ago, and she was awesome. I thought she explained deep breathing beautifully. So that's the first one that I always teach for anger management too. Really learn how to deep breathe. And I get a lot of, oh, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. But you really have to ask yourself, are you stopping? Are you taking that deep belly breath? The full inhale, the full hold, the full exhale, because that really does do something to calm us. It really does in our brain and our body. So definitely deep breathing. Along with that, I really love meditation. And that takes a lot of practice too. I know the first few times that I tried, I couldn't sit still for even 10 seconds, much less 5 minutes. But really give yourself some grace with that too, while you learn how to, because it's hard in our busy world. We're always plugged in, we're always going, everything's 24 hours. It's hard
Mhm.
to really sit still with yourself, but can do a world of good in regards to stress and anger. So deep
Mhm.
breathing, meditation, and then there's some really quick hacks too, like giving your pet a hug, removing yourself from the situation, take a quick walk, call a
Mhm.
friend, vent it out, and then come
Mhm.
back and revisit the situation.
Wow, excellent, Brittany. Yes, I'm with you 100%. I definitely agree that what goes on in our body when we breathe and when we meditate is beyond what we see. You know, it's this psychological in our brain and body connecting, and actual chemicals working within us to help calm and reduce that level of anxiety and stress and anger and emotion. Um, how do you meditate regularly?
I do. I meditate in the mornings before I even start my day. And then I meditate at night if I'm having trouble sleeping. So I love this app called Calm. There's a premium subscription, but there's also a lot of free stuff on it too. And they have some really great meditations for beginners, advanced. And I think that's a great place to start. Or just Google, YouTube. They have some great ones too.
I definitely integrate meditation into my sessions with my clients. I have found that for myself and for my husband, it's been a great tool for us to learn how to rein in just ourselves and all the emotions, like you said, with everything going on, and it just feels good. It really feels good. But I will have to say this, and I want your thoughts on this: is how do you convince somebody who is, struggling with anger, who is struggling with the emotions and all that's going on, to sit down and meditate? That's a big task. That's a big task, Brittany. How do you guys do that?
Definitely. And you're right, it's hard. And I do get a lot of pushback, like, oh no, that doesn't work. I've tried it. That's silly. I get a lot. So my ask always is give me 30 seconds. If you don't want to sit still, let's meditate outside. Even something as simple, like I said, it's like giving your pet a hug and taking a deep breath and sitting still for 10 seconds after that, and work your way up to that full sitting still. And if after the first 2 or 3 times you meditated and you absolutely hate it, come talk with me and we'll find something else. But I really
Yeah.
feel like give yourself that gift of being fully present with yourself. And I think that after a few times you will love it.
I agree. I agree. I think it is a challenge. It can be a challenge to convince and guide someone towards something that may be different, may not feel like, you're doing something because, right, we want to go to a doctor, or we're going to take something rather than take all of that out. Like you said, you can do it in your home, you can do it in your chair, you can do it anytime. It's free, and we hold this power. We really do, because it's very powerful what meditation can do for us. So I agree with you 1,000%. The one thing I feel, and you let me know if you agree with me, is the individual itself has to be open and want to change.
Yes, you are 100% right. And so when I get a little bit of that pushback, I'll just ask, what did you do the last time that you got angry? And sometimes it's, I yelled, I knocked something over, I hurt somebody. And then how did that work? What happened after that? Did you feel better? Did you feel worse? And a lot of the time it's worse. It didn't help. And so we've tried that way. Now let's try a different way. And it's okay to start small. It's okay if you go backwards a few times. The main thing is that we are trying. It's okay. I get so down on themselves when they are trying something new and it doesn't work or they mess up once, and that's okay. The important thing is that we're working towards something else. So if you get angry today and you yell, that's okay. You're going to try again next time. And revisiting, how did you feel? And when instead of yelling, you went for a walk, you took a deep breath. How did you feel after? And compare the two and choose.
Well said. Well said, Brittany. Oh, yes. Well said, because we have the power to make decisions for ourselves and for our lives. And it's our choice. We have, it gives me, it just literally, it gave me chills because we have a choice to make, and we have ownership of ourselves. And so it's very important that we recognize that, and we do ourselves as we should, if we do want to do better and be better in certain areas of our life, that it's going to require ourselves to make changes and to link up our values, what we want to be, with our actions. And if it doesn't work out today, then continue to try and try, and it will come. We're going to get to the point we need to, but we have to put effort into it, and we have to try and be open to do that. Awesome, Brittany. Now, let me ask you, are you a fitnatic? Do you work out? Do you exercise? What do you do to reduce some stress and anxiety?
Yes, definitely. I am definitely a fanatic with yoga. It's my favorite. So relaxing, so calming. I'm getting older. It gives me a good stretch. So yes, I love it. And then I'm working on eating better because I feel like a lot of times I forget how much our diet plays into how we're feeling. And so eating better is definitely next on my list of how to be a better.
Wonderful. And you're right. I have a group coaching group pod, should I say, and we talk about the importance of the nutrition, not necessarily how many calories or this or that, but what different types of foods do for our body and how that helps us to, as you say, it can help us manage stress. It can help give us energy if we're feeling, low on energy. If we have ensure that we have vitamin B in our diet or supplementing, that's going to give us some energy and we'll feel better, maybe not as irritated or angry or upset. So it is, you're 1,000% right. What we're eating in our diet has a big impact on our emotions and how we act. As you know, and you alluded to it earlier when you said if you're hungry, how we hear about hangry.
Yes,
So
definitely.
you hit the nail on the head. Very good. Thank you, Brittany, so much for your time today. We really appreciate the information, and we look forward to hearing from you again in the future. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.